What's Wes doing? Did you guys both go?
Yeah, we both went.
What? Yeah, I didn't even get an invite.
I literally asked you, hey, do you want to go?
Well, guys, quick little shout before this video. Perrick and I are on a Never Stop tour. We've been catching fish. Perrick just caught a nice wave. How was that?
I broke the board.
Did you really?
Yeah, the whole nose came off.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yikes. But, and it was like 1 footers out there and I broke the board. The first wave I just like was way too forward on the board and the board just went right into the sand and just crumpled.
Also not our board too, so we'll have to explain that to the Airbnb host. Anyway, quick shout. We're on NS3 right now. Want to let you guys know that we are starting to pump out some content on the Patreon. It will be linked down below. As you guys may or may not know, this is not a heavily funded trip by any sponsors. This is basically out of Perrick and I's pocket, which is totally cool and fine, but it is an expensive trip, and if you guys want to help support us, subscribe to that Patreon. There's a couple different tiers. One of the tiers is just you guys get to see Perrick and I raw, uncut, unfiltered, kind of explicit. We do our car podcast, and then we also will post just about anything that we see interesting that doesn't make the final cut, basically behind the scenes. And there's also some tiers on there where you can actually receive some of the items, some of the lures, some of the rigs, and basically memorabilia from NS3. So what we'll do is we will basically give you, like, let's say the leader that we caught a giant fish on. It'll come with a signature from Perrick and I, and we'll give you a shout. But anyway, check that link down below. Huge shout out to everyone who's already subscribed to Patreon. And if you want to see some really crazy, weird that Perrick and I get ourselves into on NS3,
and I think there's only one person who signed up for the like the lure. Like we have a leader.
Couple. There's 2, I think.
There's 2?
Yeah.
But we have more than 2 items, so as of now, those people get more. Like
right.
We'll probably have 50 items.
Oh yeah.
So some people might get 2 items.
Yeah, like we caught a redfish on a tiny artificial crab. That's going to go to one of you guys, and it'll have like a little piece and show you where in the video that item was used. Anyway, it's kind of cool. That's it. Back to NS3.
Like an NFT, man. We're pretty much NFT traders now.
we're minting our own NFT. All right, thanks guys. Peace. Let's do this. Welcome to Lowe's. This is where our project begins. I'm very excited about this video. I haven't done one of these in probably since we were at the backyard pond in Maine. So it's going to be good to finally put some structure in the big bass factory here in Texas. So we got to get started with putting some structure in the pond. A couple different routes I'm thinking here. One of which is you go the more natural standing timber route, which doesn't involve anything you see here. What I'm going to do with these cinder blocks is I'm going to break these up, chunk them up, and put them in kind of a deeper spot in the pond. And what these will do is they'll create nice hangout structure for these bass. They're going to hold warm. So during those colder months, which we will inevitably get in Texas, it'll be a nice place for these fish to relate, warm up, and feel comfortable. Just having a nice variety in the pond is important. You don't want to just have grass or just have timber or just have riprap or hard structure like this. So I want to have a nice healthy balance. But cinder blocks, pretty good way to start. If you've ever thrown a crankbait on a lake, you're probably throwing it on riprap and junk that looks like this. So this will be perfect. We're gonna just grab maybe, let's see, how many do we have? 1, 2, that's 6, 8. Should we go 9? Let's do an odd number. Ooh, there we go, 9. 9 little cinder blocks. Sweet. All right, hard structure out of the way. Let's go get some stuff for our standing timber. Is this the one? Middle of the pack. Might as well get a little weed whacker over here. This video is sponsored by Manscaped. This is the Wiener Cutter Extreme. No, actually the reason why I'm getting this is totally unrelated to this video, but I do need to trim my lawn, and for whatever reason I thought being on 8 acres I could get away with weed whacking my lawn with an electric weed whacker, which is like the dumbest. So I'm biting the bullet and getting the gasser. I'm not going Tesla mode, I'm going backwards. You never know what you'll find at Lowe's. They're now making, they're now putting paddle shifters and yoke steering wheels on lawnmowers to make the experience a little more exhilarating. This is an Ego lawnmower designed by the late Enzo Ferrari himself. This is crazy, dude. It's got a wireless charger too for your phone. USB charging. That's incredible. Wow. I don't know what the point is of carbon fiber paddle shifters, but this lawnmower has it. I'm like actually stunned right now. Caleb pointed this out. He's like, yo, check this out. Dude, look at you gotta get a shot of the dash, dude. Like literally looks like if you compare that tachometer to one in like a hypercar, it's very similar. It's like your revs go up, oop, shift, oop, shift. That's hilarious, bro. They're carbon fiber, probably fake. There's no of those are real. How much is this puppy? Can we put some extra horsepower in it? 6K? Oh, never mind. Let's walk away. Need some tarp for... So hard to film in retail stores. Am I the special assistance? Am I needed for special assistance? I'm special and I need assistance. Here we go. This is for tomorrow's project. 12 by 16 tarp. You guys will see what we're gonna do with this tomorrow. It's gonna have to do with the pond, but this is the one I'm really excited about. Not the tarp, but what the tarp means. Saw it down. What is a cat doing in Lowe's? Is he for sale? Excuse me, I need some help over at fertilizer. I'm just looking at some... Excuse me. Yeah, hi. I just need some help looking at fertilizer. I just need like one off the top shelf. Can you help me out? Dude, customer service here sucks. There's a little kid, he's little. We're here in my favorite section, the gardening section. It's so peaceful. You got the birds chirping. It's just kind of a nice little vibe. Great place to hang. The Lowe's gardening section. Truly incredible. Anyway, we're here to get some stuff for our homemade trap. Usually, and we still might do this, to be honest, just for a video's sake, but usually when you're wanting to put some money into pond, it's definitely good to get creative and cut corners. Whoa, what's going on there?
He's on the shelf.
He's on the shelf?
Yes.
So does that mean
Look,
he's
look.
purchased now?
There he comes.
Oh,
right
what's
here.
up, buddy? Hi. Your cats are crazy.
Where's she going?
Oh, he's right there. Look, he's looking at us. Hey, I still need help with that fertilizer, bud. Dude, can you imagine? Jump scare just comes out and... Oh, he probably sees the dead cat. Anyway, as I was saying, we're trying to cut costs on this. So normally when you want to add structure to your pond, you can go a couple different routes. One of which is you can go to an actual pond store where they sell like man-made structure. You've probably seen it. They're made of like PVC piping, or sometimes they'll do like the fake kelp or the weed beds, which are really cool, but they can be expensive. So we're going the cheap route. What we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a flower pot, some Quickcrete, and we're gonna go into my backyard and actually get our own cover. Now the flower pot's gonna act as a base for what we're going to design and build, and the Quickcrete's gonna hold the structure that I'm going to basically cut down in my backyard. It should be a little bit less than like, I don't know, 50 bucks. And the cool thing is we can design our own look to the structure, and it's going to serve the same purpose as if we were to buy some man-made stuff that cost upward of like $150 to $200. It's just not necessary. We still might do it, like I said, but for now, let's get started with the cheap route, and hopefully you guys can learn something today and bring it to your pond or your lake if it's legal. Some lakes don't allow you to put structure in public waters, but here in Texas, I'm pretty sure you can do it. But we're not doing it in public waters, we'll do it in the private backyard pond. Anyway, let's go find a pot. Hey man, you need a little pot? I got you, dude. This real little pot. Or you get some big pot. This is perfect. I know it may not look like much, but this is gonna be sweet. I've done this before, and if you're interested in creating your own structure, this is actually a really awesome alternative. This is the base. What's gonna go in here is our shrubs and our tree limbs and our brush, and we're gonna fill this in with some Quickcrete, and it's going to sink to the bottom and stand upright. So basically we're creating upright standing timber today. That is essentially the type of structure that we're building. We need it. It's essential not only for the bass, but for the bluegill and the small fish to evade the largemouth. You don't want the bluegill to be vulnerable in your pond. You want them to have a chance, especially if we do want the bluegill to get big, which is like kind of the goal. Like, it's a big bass factor, but we also want giant bluegill. I think that'd be pretty cool. So this is it. This is really all we need. We just need to grab concrete and we're out of here. He wants to come home with us. Mission accomplished. We dominated Lowe's, spent way too much money. We found a cat. But guess what? We've got structure for our pond now. We gotta say goodbye to the cat real quick. That's a different cat. Is it the same one? Different? Same cat. Sorry, I'll get out of here. Stealing. I'm stealing. Dip, dip, dip. Just another day at Lowe's. I spent $6,482.30. I did spend a band though, $628. Really what the expensive part was is me deciding and having an impulse decision to purchase a weed whacker today because I'm sick of my Elon Musk electric one, which is absolute, I don't know, unless you live in New York and you've got like 5 blades of grass to cut. But I got 8 acres and so much grass, so I went and bought this. But normally, all right, dude, we get it. That's why it's important to stay away from bath salts. I think overall, like the actual goods that we need for this pond structure build, I think we're looking at maybe, let's see, $8. Or no, that's I bought Mr. Clean. Don't count that. The pot was a little expensive. I've heard pot is definitely is getting a little bit more pricey these days. $41 for that 16-inch standard clay pot. I thought it was a premium clay pot. I guess it's standard. The Quickcrete was $3, which we still need to go grab. And this guy's using his drill in the parking lot. What else do we have here? That was about it. So we were only like $48 deep in this project. Whereas if we were to go to like a pond store, we'd spend $120 on literally a jumbled mess of PVC pipe. This is the way to do it. Save money, do less, work harder, Lowe's. It's the Lowe's way. I've never had the urge to buy a chick until like right now, like right this second.
You definitely should.
What am I gonna do with the chicken, bro?
Put it in the back. Add it next to the pond.
Put it in the back. A coyote's gonna eat that thing in a day.
Get one of these.
Dude, terrible idea. And if Kaylee was here, she'd reinforce it.
Drop it in the comments.
No, I don't need any chickens. That's all flair, bro. Why are they called black sex links? Not my first choice to name a chicken, but you know, each their own. Let's go cut down a tree. I'm doing this the old lumberjack way. I bought a gas-powered weed whacker, but I couldn't be bothered to buy a gas-powered chainsaw. Full Amish mode. We're doing this by hand. I want to work for it. We're in the back of my property right now. I keep forgetting I actually have like trees on my land. And I know it's a pretty big ranch and all, but one thing I do forget is I got like actual wood here, and this is perfect structure. Now I don't want to really cut down something that's still living and thriving, but I bet we can find some dead limbs around here that would be absolutely perfect for pond structure. We wouldn't need to cut this down, but this would actually be a pretty nice piece of structure, natural structure. I think it would sink too. It's pretty waterlogged. I might put this in the bed of my truck just to see if it'll look good. It's kind of decaying a good bit, but that's fine. It should mean that it should sink straight to the bottom. It's dead and it's super moist. Moist, can I use that word? All right, well, we're gonna keep that on the back burner. I'm fine. I haven't been back here since I bought the property. There's no reason. It's just a couple of Osage trees and probably lots of raccoon. Definitely lots of raccoon. All right, we got right here is a nice Osage tree. This is actually, according to Rackley, good wood for building bows, but we're gonna use it to build a nice little fish house today. It's got some dead branches here, so I'm gonna trim these down and we're gonna section them off, bring them back to the pond and basically design how we want this to look. It's not gonna look like an entangled mess. It'll actually look pretty good by the time we're done, but I gotta cut this down first. All right, this might take a second. There's a nice chunk. Look at that. This is perfect. Hell yeah, dude. Got a whole dang tree with me. Oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna start sectioning this off now. There you go. Heads up. Hi. So you're gonna help us with the pond today? High five. High five. Well, can you clap? Can you clap?
She was clapping whenever you were.
Getting water for the cement is going down. Dang, dude. Caleb just pointed out we're at the pond right now, just seeing if we can see any of the remaining bass that are in here and check out some of the bluegill and see how they're doing. And Caleb pointed out, I think that's a goose nest right there. Looks like they didn't all hatch. 2 of them hatched, but then there's like 3 that didn't. Omelet? Maybe a goose omelet later. That'd be kind of nice. Here's a lot of the bluegill right here. The bluegill have actually been using the flooded grass around my pond as safe haven, because the times I've come down here in the morning, I'll come down here every morning just to check it out, see what the water level's like. But oftentimes I get to see how the fish are acting because it's so warm right now. They're up shallow, including the bass. So a lot of the little bass and bluegill have been using these reedy areas to stay protected and remain out of harm's way. Harm's way being the big largemouth that are left in here. Oh, there's one right there, actually. It's actually a pretty sizable one. Might be a little bit bigger than a pound. Look at that. He's just coming to check us out. There's the other one right behind him. A little bit smaller. It could be a male and female situation too. It is spring and they should be thinking about spawning, so these guys could be courting each other. That bigger one I would assume is the female. That's so cool, dude. They're not spooky at all. Even in this clean water, they think they'd shy off, but you know, I don't try to catch them normally or regularly. We did that one time, but that was like a fish that was probably needs to be culled out of this pond anyway. But this guy, I don't think I've seen him before. He's pretty large. There we go. There's 2. There's 3. Let's get the chomping. Now I know it may not seem like much, and most people would just tie this all in a ball and sink it, but this wood's gonna float, and one way to remedy that is you tie cinder blocks to it. But I want to create kind of like a standing timber habitat, something that those fish can actually suspend on, especially in the wintertime. So rather than just yarning this all up, putting some sloppy cinder blocks out and just toss it in the water, we're gonna make this look really nice. It'll be able to stick out of the water. We have to swim this out. Another limb going in, just kind of building around the edge of the clay pot, using the lip of it to support these limbs as this concrete dries. It'll take a second for this concrete to dry, so we might find something to keep us busy while it's doing that, unless you want to just sit here and just watch it dry. Yeah, that'd be cool. 2 of my favorite things, watching paint and concrete dry. So much fun. I've actually canceled my Hulu and Netflix subscription because I enjoy watching this stuff dry so much. You can kind of see it starting to take shape. I know there's probably a lot of deniers out there saying like, what the hell is he doing with a flower pot, some concrete, and some dusty Osage? Well, this is what we're doing. It's taking form right now, and we're not done. Isn't she just beautiful? My little bundle of Osage twigs has blossomed and transformed into a beautiful future big bass habitat. It's gorgeous. It looks pretty good. A little rough around the edges, but nothing a bit of quickcrete and some zip ties and some idiot ingenuity can't freaking solve. It's gonna be an awesome little addition to the pond. We'll keep it in for as long as we think necessary. I'm sure a lot of this stuff will rot, so the nice thing is we can just go back in there, grab it a year from now, and then put a new piece of structure in there. I do want to make like PVC structure, but I like the idea of doing straight natural wood because there's so many, like, look how many little areas these bait fish can hide in and stay away from the bass. It's obviously structure for the largies, but the primary focus of this is so that those fish, those little tiny bluegill, those coppernose, those red ear that we stocked earlier, have a place to congregate in the deeper water, because right now they're super vulnerable. That's why they're really hugging tight to the bank, is because the only cover that they have is in a freaking foot of water. So when it gets colder or even hotter, we want to have a nice little home for these jimmies to chill out in the depths. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Gotta do it. Gotta get it done. Wow, this thing is really heavy and I am so out of shape. Ouch, that's right in my arm. Okay. Oh, now it's really heavy. That water's really cold. Oh my gosh, I've got full-on shrinkage going on at the moment. Okay, go. Here we go. I'm walking around. Forgot to take this receipt on my pocket. Did it sink? Oh yeah, it sank. How's it look? Perfect. Wayne and I are going for a dip right now. Come on, Wayne, you're all good. You're all good. I got you. You're not going anywhere. Oh, the water feels incredible. It's the first time I've ever swam on my pond. First outro I've done naked in a while, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. That was kind of fun. You know, we got a nice piece of structure in the Big Bass Factory officially. My plan is hopefully to put like a GoPro down there, or like set up like an underwater trail cam and see what fish uses that structure that we just created. I'm hoping that it gets used. Otherwise we just now have now we just have some limbs in the water, but I seriously think it will be used. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to drop a comment. Let us know what we should do with the pond next. Caleb and I have so many cool, interesting ideas that I don't think too many people have done before with this pond. I want to make this unique. I don't want it to be just like any other pond video out there. And in the past, I feel like I failed at doing so. Like, I want to try to make this fun, exciting, and different, all the while putting a lot of time and effort into this. Hopefully at least one day, I know I keep saying this, but hopefully at least one day, a juicy Big Bass Factory. But I appreciate the view. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like the video. Like I said, drop a comment and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. As always, folks, keep fishing, never stop.
Thank you.